Welcome to BI Sports, a show that takes you beyond the scoreboard, bringing you stories from across the Vancouver Island sports scene. I'm Kevin Chirac, hosting here at the Q Center in Colwood as the BCHL's Victoria Grizzlies take on their arch rival, the Nanaimo Clippers. We're going to get you up close and personal with both teams in just a bit, but first, today's show is filled with hockey stories from Victoria to Port Alberni. Here's a preview.
Sledge hockey takes off in Victoria. The island's up-and-comers test their skills in Port Alberni. Victoria Royals rookie Matt Phillips is proving size doesn't matter.
Goal's gone past Redlich. He'll drive the net, backhander scores!
If hockey never works out, modeling's always kind of been my fallback.
And the Nanaimo Clippers go from the ice to the runway.
Those stories coming up, but right now, let's meet the Victoria Grizzlies and the Nanaimo Clippers, two teams that very well could meet in the playoffs. Earlier on, we spoke with coaches and players from both teams on their respective seasons, their heated rivalry, and their push to the playoffs.
He's also going to have to go on the road and win.
The Victoria Grizzlies started slow, losing 9 of their first 10 games of the season, but a red-hot January brought them back in the playoff picture.
You know what happens is you face a lot of adversity early and you get your backs against the wall, and I think we're a team that came together a little tighter, a little quicker than other teams in the league, and we started playing playoff style hockey early in the season, and and we worked extremely hard to get ourselves back into a playoff spot, and then had a good break over Christmas, and we came back revived, rejuvenated.
With our tough start, our playoffs basically began halfway through October. We sat down and we realized that it was going to take a lot of wins here.
Conlon finds the puck, cuts to the slot. Conlon looking good. Good! P.J. Conlon!
A lot of playoff type games to get us back in a position where we can make a run in the actual playoffs. So we've done that, and we definitely know how to play playoff hockey.
Meanwhile, the Nanaimo Clippers have been the Island Division's team to beat all season long, with a potent offense led by Sheldon Rempel, the team's first 50-goal scorer since the 98-99 season.
I gave it all to my line mates, Devin Brousseau and Matt Hoover.
Rempel at the blue line.
At the start of camp, we started playing together and found some early chemistry. So I think I've just been riding on that line the whole year, and we've been having some good success, obviously, and it's just been a fun ride so far, and just hopefully we can keep it going.
I'm most proud of the way his game has developed in other areas, though, like not just offense. He's become a more committed sort of 200-foot player. He does a lot of little things a lot better than he used to when he first came here. So he's really matured, and he's had a heck of a year.
And no matter where both teams sit in the standings, the cross-island rivalry is still alive.
We know that every time we step on the ice against those guys, it's going to be a war, and we're going to have to do whatever it takes to come out on top.
I think everybody wants to beat us, and rightfully so, and we want to beat them too. So it makes for fun hockey and good for the fans.
They're definitely gunning for us.
We're not exactly nice to them when we play them, and they're not exactly nice to us. But there's a lot of respect between the two teams and the two organizations, and that's what you want to see. And Nanaimo's been a rivalry to Victoria for years, and we do expect to see them in the first round, and they know it's going to be a tough one.
What a turnaround for the Victoria Grizzlies, and what a season for the Clippers' Sheldon Rempel. He's amongst the league leaders in the BCHL in points, and if he finishes on top, he'll be the first Clipper to do so since the 1980 season. You just got to hope these two teams meet in the playoffs. All right, let's get to our first story about a different kind of hockey that's gaining ground here on the island. Here's our volunteer reporter, Mark Robertson.
There's no question that hockey is Canada's #1 sport. There's also no question that we're pretty good at it. But for some, the ability to play the sport that most of us have grown up with has been cruelly taken away due to some severe injury. Well, that's all about to change here on Vancouver Island with a brand new program that will let anyone take to the ice.
Sledge hockey. It's been around for a while, but this is a brand new sport for Vancouver Island, and it's all thanks to a team of dedicated staff and volunteers.
My name is Andy Van Nudichem, and I've been involved with Sledge Hockey for about the last year. I was also involved with Hockey Canada in the build-up to the World Championships in 2015. It's an amazing sport. Just like stand-up hockey, just you get to sit down and you have 2 blades underneath you. Really hard sport, very, very fast, very physical, and it's just an incredibly exciting sport.
So Andy, this is a typical sledge. This is something, if you're a beginner, this is what you're going to start off with, I understand.
Absolutely, yes. Some of the features that make it a beginner sled is that we have the blades wide apart here. That allows for a lot more stability. If you were to be more advanced or play on the national team,
right,
you would see the blades quite close together, which allows better stopping and a lot more speed.
Okay. Very lightweight. What about the seats? I would assume this is flexible as well, depending on the length of your legs and how you're going to sit.
This is adjustable for beginner players where we can move it in or out, so your feet can rest right here.
Okay.
Again, if you play more advanced, you'd probably get these far more secured. This bucket is a typical plastic bucket, and again, you can get them in different sizes. Very comfortable, but again, as you move up to more advanced, you'd get one that'd be sized to your body.
And of course, you've got the customized sticks.
Yes, we have the sticks here, and clearly we have the picks. Regulations, they have to have 3 picks.
Okay.
And again, they would hold it and pick the ice, and then of course, when they're ready, they would shoot.
With various regional partners, Andy and his team have formed One Ability, an organization geared to bring all forms of adaptive sport under one umbrella. They've been actively promoting the sledge hockey program at local rinks, including a demo at a recent Grizzlies game.
This is an example of the community program that we want to get started here in Victoria. We want to encourage people to come out, get involved in disability sport with or without a physical disability, and enjoy themselves.
The most fun is it's something that most people have never tried, but it allows all abilities to take part.
It's fun. I've never been in a sled before, first time, and hard to get the hang of it, but it's a lot of fun.
It's trying to create as much opportunity for people with disabilities or people without disabilities to enjoy this game and take it where they want it to go. And that's the beauty of sport, is to enjoy it at whatever level that is suitable for you.
So if you want to get involved, the program is free, and it happens right here at the Juan de Fuca Arena in Colwood, Mondays at 2 o'clock, right through until the end of March. Or if you'd like more information, you can email the folks at OneAbility at sledgehockeyvictoria@gmail.com. I'm Mark Robertson in Colwood for VI Sports.
Thanks, Mark. Good stuff. Sledge hockey looks like a lot of fun. Got to try it sometime. But right now, I'm going to check out this photo booth. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have some pictures for you and more from the Q Center.
Watching VI Sports on ShawTV.
I think this one captures my inner Grizzly quite well. A photo booth at a hockey game, you gotta love it. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of the NHL All-Stars or seen the NHL All-Stars skills competition before. That's with the hardest shot, the fastest skater. Now, did you know that Port Alberni has their own version for the young rising stars here on the island? Nancy Wilmot has the story.
You've heard of track meets, competitive gatherings that often pit students from different schools against each other in various athletic tests. Well, how about a hockey meet? Same concept, but this time pitting youths from different hockey academies against the clock and each other.
It's the first time it's ever been done on Vancouver Island. We thought we'd give it a try, and we'll see how it goes. So we've got Campbell River here, we've got Alberni here, we've got about 6 or 7 stations out here, and we're just having a lot of fun.
It's different aspects of speed and of agility and puck handling. So I think the coolest thing here is that we're measuring ourselves in ways of different than wins and losses.
There's puck handling, there's shooting accuracy, hardest shot, fastest skater. They're going through all of the different stations, they're getting timed. There's going to be some awards at the end, but there's also, we're just making sure that players understand it's about matching their personal best.
And for the Hockey Academy students, getting together for a meet instead of a game gives them a chance to see exactly how their skills measure up.
When I first heard about it, I was super excited because we've been practicing these skills all year round so far. And now we really get to compete against Campbell River, and it's just a lot of fun so far.
A lot of fun and scores that provide valuable benchmarks for young athletes who are serious about hockey.
It's important to kind of see where you're at when you're moving up to the next level, guys trying out for junior hockey and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool to come see what they're doing at the other academies, how the stuff that they're doing compares, and you know how they are skills-wise comparatively to the other players. The point of the Hockey Skills Academy is to get better individually in the little skills.
Yeah, that's completely right. We go out here and we practice our individual skills, not so much team skills, because that's what we do with our minor hockey teams, but out here we're focusing on ourselves and just getting better at every aspect.
But make no mistake, as much as the emphasis at this first ever Vancouver Island hockey meet is on individual improvement, these kids are clearly in it to win it.
I think at the end of the day, hockey players kind of have a little bit of a competitive nature inside of them, and whether it's a game of tiddlywinks or a 3-on-3 tournament or a regular season game, hockey players seem to get up for it.
Oh, and in Port Alberni, those hockey players are getting up to it at school because the Alberni District Hockey Academy is run through the Alberni District Secondary School. For VI Sports, I'm Nancy Wilmot.
Thanks, Nancy. Well, one player who I bet would have done very well in that competition is Victoria Royals rookie sensation, Matthew Phillips. He's the smallest guy on the team, amongst the smallest in the WHL, yet he's emerged as a scoring machine. How does he do it? Take a look.
For Royals rookie Matthew Phillips, being the little guy is nothing new.
I look at all the team pictures and stuff, and I'm always in the front row, always one of the smaller guys, so it's definitely something I'm used to, yeah.
He's also no stranger to this.
Second and goals, got past Rutledge. He'll drive the net, backhander scores! Matthew Phillips!
Scoring goals has been Phillips' calling card ever since his minor hockey days in Calgary. He was small then, he's small now. He could score then.
And Victoria will move it to center. Here's a stretch pass for Phillips on a breakaway. Phillips alone shoots and scores!
He can score now. Any questions on how his 5'6", 140-pound frame would survive in the WHL have been answered.
I think he has high-end skill, and he has a real good understanding of the game and how it's to be played.
You know, he's a really shifty player. I've went against him in a couple one-on-ones, and he made me look pretty stupid, and he does that a lot to D-men too. You know, he's got that great mind for hockey.
He's got great vision. He's got you know, kind of a finishing touch to go along with that vision, and he really, you know, makes the players around him better.
Scores for Canoon. Phillips scores!
The 17-year-old is on pace to break the Royals rookie scoring record and is a serious contender for WHL Rookie of the Year. He's learned to adapt and thrive in a game where 6'+", 200-pound defensemen aim to physically shut him down.
As I've grown up, I've been so small that I've had to be really aware out on the ice, and I think especially at this level, there's some really big guys out there, so I think being aware and having my head up is really helpful.
The occasional hit, clean or dirty,
Oh my goodness.
is inevitable.
I've gotten hit pretty hard a few times, but I think I just shake it off and I just forget about it.
It hasn't stopped him from grinding in the corners or taking a hit to make a play. An everyday expectation of Coach Lowry.
We've got some undersized guys, but the understanding that we have is that they play the same way.
And for added guidance, he need look no further than his undersized yet punishing captain.
I think Joe's been a great role model, and you just see how he doesn't let his size affect his game at all. He just goes out there and he's the hardest working guy on the ice, and I think I can really take that trait and bring it into my game from him.
You hear the term slippery players, and he's a slippery player. You know, he's hard to hit, he's hard to knock off the puck, and he wins his little small area battle.
He's just an all-round competitor, and guys have a tendency to try and take liberties on him, and he doesn't back down from anybody.
Perhaps due to his size, Phillips was snubbed from NHL Central Scouting's early season watch list for the 2016 draft. But if the undersized Phillips continues to play big, he'll be impossible to ignore.
If you were playing with him, you wouldn't know how small he is by the way he plays. He's got a really big heart, and he's really determined.
Playoff time is right around the corner for Phillips and the Royals, and you got to feel good about this team. They're very skilled, they're well coached, and they got a lot of character. All right, we got to take a quick break. We got more from the Q Center when we return, and ice clips with Dan Marshall.
Watching VI Sports on ShawTV.
Welcome to Ice Clips. I'm Dan Marshall. The Nanaimo Clippers are looking good at the start of their BCHL season, but are the Clippers actually good looking? We set to find out by getting Spencer Houston, Matt Hoover, and Edwin Hookinson to compete in a competition where they're going to have a photo shoot. They're also going to have a runway walk and shoot a TV commercial. It's called Clippers Next Top Model.
First off, it's a big honor to get selected for the process here. We got a good-looking team this year.
If hockey never works out, modeling's always kind of been my fallback. So, I mean, I'm not surprised I was chosen.
I mean, I've been in thousands of these in my entire life, so you know what? Just try to come out here and do as best I can and win them like I usually do.
Let's introduce our panel of judges. We have Fiona Shedden, Jackie Casey, and head coach of the Clippers, Mike Vandekamp. They're going to pick their favorite in each of our categories. Now let's start with the photo shoot.
Now let's see your best tough guy pose.
What we're looking for is poise, confidence.
Don't move at all. Confidence is really key in an event like this, and I think a certain je ne sais quoi right in the eyes. Very nice, very nice.
I'm an international talent scout, so I'm really looking for the next big thing.
Very good. Hold that one. And now, looking up in the air. I really feel the emotion. Nice.
Hoover I thought was quite cute, but I didn't get any hair.
I liked his variety in poses. I liked how we got to see a bit of him serious crossed with the arms. We got to see a bit of a smile.
I liked his hat, liked his attitude. He showed it well in the pictures.
Lovely. Looking at me and looking just past me.
Spencer Houston, looking sharp as well with a 7.
I love Houston. I thought Houston had a great smile, natural presence.
I just thought he gave such a great variety of poses. We saw a little bit of his nice smiley side. We also saw a bit of his more serious side. What's that off in the distance?
Hawkinson, I don't know how he got the black eye, but that sort of didn't do it for me.
I'm giving him a solid 8. Looks sharp, like the shiner, like the duster on his lip.
Loved his poses, but I found they were all quite serious. I wouldn't have minded seeing a bit more of a variety from him.
Spencer Houston got the high marks in our photo shoot with 25. A tie between Edwin Hookinson and Matt Hoover. They each had 22. Now let's move on to the runway walk.
The runway's got to be the most challenging. You know, it's a lot of pressure being out there in front of those people.
Now, Hookinson was definitely at the top for me for this. I just thought he had that confidence. He had a great walk.
I like the wink. I like the little gun coming out of his pocket there. He's got a lot of confidence up there on the walkway.
It was a little bit too overconfident for me. I don't really encourage models to wink at their audience and to partake in that kind of stuff.
Now, Houston, I wasn't really so sure what he was doing. He had kind of a weird walk going on. It almost looked like he was trying to get through some tall grass or something. And I was hopeful when I saw him take off the jacket. I thought that was going to be really smooth, but...
I thought he was a little rammy. I mean, he's flipping that coat around. Looked like he was going to knock someone's eye out with it.
It's kind of got all flipped inside out over his back, and
I felt quite sorry for him because the jacket, everything sort of became quite awkward.
By the end, he kind of looked like a crab tangled up in a net.
The runway was a little challenging, obviously. We got a couple pretty skilled guys over there on the runway. They got good footwork over there, and all in all, I think I did well and could bring home the hardware here.
Definitely going to give my top mark to Matt Hoover. I used to have a good friend that used to say, hey, that kid tucks his t-shirt in his gaunch. So it just reminded me of that. So I'm going with it. He tucked his shirt in his underwear. Who does that?
Was he paid to endorse the underwear? You know, that's sort of bribing the judges.
I thought he had kind of a good natural swag going on. He didn't really pull out the frills too much. You know, he didn't have as many moves as the other guys. He had that confidence, and I liked that.
In the runway walk, a tie between Edwin Hookinson and Matt Hoover. Overall standings, boy, it's tight. Hoover and Hookinson, 55 points, and Houston with 54. The third and final competition is a TV commercial. I wonder how the boys are going to feel about endorsing a new product. It's called Hockey Hair.
Rempel, left side, cutting in, shoots, he scores! Sheldon Rempel, and it's a 3-0 lead.
Ever wished you were on the road to hockey greatness?
A hockey hero that scores every time you take a shot?
You may not be an all-star, but now you can smell and feel like one with Hockey Hair.
This shampoo and conditioner will leave you smelling salty,
sweaty, and fresh.
And by fresh, I mean fresh.
Yes, you can smell victorious just like me.
Just like me.
Just like me. Matt Hoover.
Edwin Hookinson.
Spencer Houston.
Hockey Hair. It's a win, no matter where you wash.
Love the product. In fact, I'm thinking of buying some myself, especially after watching that commercial.
Houston, I thought he absolutely nailed it, 100%. Like, I would put him on a commercial tomorrow.
Now, first I'd have to say Hookinson. You know, he was just so believable, and just that look in his eyes, it was fantastic.
I thought all three of them did great. I thought they were equal. I would have liked to have seen Who's without the hat, considering it's a hair commercial.
The judges chose Edwin Hookinson as the winner in our TV commercial, followed up by Spencer Houston and Matt Hoover. So the overall scores, Edwin Hookinson is the Clippers' next top model, and a tie for second place between Spencer Houston and Matt Hoover. Not only is Edwin Hookinson a great defenseman, he's also a fantastic model. For Ice Clips, I'm Dan Marshall.
Thanks, Dan. Well, that's our show. Remember to follow us on Twitter. Give us your story ideas. Follow us for sports news. As you can see, the Nanaimo Clippers are happy. They were victorious, made a statement game, 7-2 victory over the Victoria Grizzlies in what was a very nasty affair. On behalf of everyone for VI Sports, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kevin Chirac. We'll see you next time. And stay tuned. We got a recap of this game. See you soon.
Looking for goal, there's a feed, a shot, rebound, scores! Shot block, loose puck, they score! Bertanen! Singer, waiting, looking, firing, scores! There's a big shot by the 20-year-old! Phillips in the box, called it, shot scored.